gotta make it out to Vegas, where the lights shine bright. Vegas, in the clear desert night. Vegas, where they can make you a star. Vegas, at the NFR.
NFR Extra is a podcast dedicated to the Wrangler National Finals Rodeo and features icons and personalities that embody the Western lifestyle.
I think rodeo fans too, there's multiple types of rodeos and the rodeo fan that shows up there culturally just because of where it is and, you know, what created the event and how it works. But I'm sure you would agree that kind of, to me, is the secret sauce right now, is to just being in the moment, having fun, you know, feel like everybody in the audience came to my house, to my kitchen, and we're just having a gathering, and I'm treating them like people and talking about whatever's happening in the moment.
This is pro rodeo announcer Andy Seiler, and you are listening to NFR Extra. I am doing fantabulous. Where are you at in the world?
I'm in my kitchen.
Oh, you are?
It's so good. I took a weekend off last weekend, and I'm going to Tennessee this weekend, but then I'm off again the week after because then, as we all know, busy time starts.
What are you cooking?
I'm just sitting in here. I came in here because I've been like working to the last minute before I came and called you guys, but I had a phone charger in here. It was the closest one I could plug my phone into, so I'm sitting at my bar in my kitchen.
If you had the opportunity to cook, what would you be cooking?
Right now?
Well, I mean, just in general.
My favorite meal to prepare?
Sure.
I would go with a shrimp Creole. You start with the trilogy, a little olive oil, a little flour. You burn that into a roux. You work your way up. You brown your onions, your celery, your garlic, and then you slow roll the tomato paste and a little bit of cream with some shrimp, and then a nice jasmine.
I'm so hungry right now.
Mm-hmm. Sprinkle it with a crab boil seasoning. It's lights out.
So are you secretive when it comes to your recipes, or are you just you're willing to share?
I'm fully willing to share. Actually, they're for sale. They're really low.
Anything is for sale for the right price.
Oh, the consummate businessman. So we're kind of doing this backwards. Usually there's a really formal introduction and welcome to NFR Extra, but we literally just started off talking about shrimp Creole. So now I'm really excited about this episode.
I didn't know we were recording. Why didn't you say, are you private with your recipes before you told me we were recording?
In today's world, Matthew, everything is being recorded.
True, very true.
So Matt, you've got some exciting things going on in Vegas, but before we talk about what you're doing this year during the NFR, take us back to the beginning days on how and where Matt Merritt found out he could be an entertainer.
It was a sultry August evening in the late 1900s, somewhere in North Louisiana, approximately 45 miles from Texas and 45 miles from Arkansas. All my buddies were bull riders, and I tried it. I fooled with it. I never bought equipment. I never got very serious about it. But my mother and father had been divorced since I was a little kid when I was like 7. And the guy that mom was dating was a rodeo announcer. So my buddies were riding bulls. I'm kind of around it. But it was more like buck outs and a practice pen thing. It's actually Heath DeMoss's father-in-law. It's where in Heflin, Louisiana, Joe Lynn Robinson. He bucked bulls and had like a Bible camp and steer riding, and I hung out there. Anyway, because my mother was dating an announcer, I got to actually go to some rodeos that I wasn't necessarily like in the stands. You know what I mean? I got to see behind the scenes, and I'm like, oh, that guy gets paid? You know, like I didn't ever think about it as a kid. I'm a teenager by now. And the clown gets paid? He's like, yeah, that looks so fun. I'd like to try that. Seriously? I'll help you. So he helped me, and I got going. Very quickly, I did my first 1 or 2 events for free. And then I think the first time I got paid was Heath's father-in-law, Joe Lynn. He paid me maybe $50 or $75 to do a little rodeo at a church camp. I don't know what year it was. I mean, it's got to have been 28 years ago. It was like late 90s. It was, I don't remember exactly the date, but yeah, got started. And truly, dude, after that, I went on to, I got my first real hire up in Arkansas for Tommy Rand in Mountain Home, Arkansas. I think I made $200 a night. And my teachers were probably only making $400 a week at the time. I made it. I mean, I didn't account for all the money I spent getting there and all that, but I remember thinking, I'm in high school and I'm earning as much as people that went to college. This is awesome. You know, that's how I justified it. So that took off from there. And over the years, I've had other little jobs to sort of hold me together. But you know, until finally kind of decided to go pro in like probably 2010, I probably got really, really serious about it and didn't do any other work.
What did you do in your spare time before you went full time?
Like for other jobs?
Yeah.
For a little while, I worked at a racehorse barn in Bossier City, Louisiana. That's where it was like near Louisiana Downs. I wasn't like a equestrian by any means. I'm not too handy with a horse, but I like welded and fixed pins and fed and, you know, drove a tractor around and drug the arenas and the tracks and all that at the place I worked at. And then I got a job at a machine shop from my buddy's dad, and I like rewound motors, electric motors, and sandblasted metal motors, and did all this stuff. And a little bit later, when I moved to North Carolina, I had odd jobs here and there. But met my wife, Bonnie. Her dad owns a stained glass business, and I worked there probably for I think I worked there about 11 years, on and off, because he would let me come and go with my rodeo schedule. And I worked with Andy way back then. This was pretty young before I had kids and all that. Andy and we met at a zoo. It was wild.
That is, I can verify that story. I was starving in college, and we went up to West Virginia, and they said, "Hey, we're going to have a bull riding," and didn't know anything about Matt, didn't know anything about the location, and we literally get there, and they had a bull riding right next to an animal preserve / zoo. Still one of the most unique venues I've ever worked at, but yeah,
the bulls were like watching over their shoulder because there was a lion there. And he was roaring at them and stuff. Yeah.
Oh. Well, I obviously, as your career has grown, you've had to work with lots of different types of people. So how do you prepare to work with so many different announcers and committees? Like, how do you do research? I mean, I don't know how the clown world works as far as that goes.
That's a really good question. I approach working with announcers the same way I approach just walking out into public. Like I want to go be friends with everyone and have a great day, and for everyone else to have a good day. And of course, we all have things that we need to worry about, like the announcer has to handle at his job, just like a person you run into at a convenience store. He's having to worry about his day. So everybody has their own life going on. It's nice to be able to get together and help make people smile. So I kind of feel like that's my role, and I hope to just help those guys communicate with the audience better. And that's as far as dealing with the announcers. And then as far as researching different committees and locations, before every performance, I look up the national day calendar. I look up celebrities' birthdays. I get on Wikipedia and I look up like things about the city, like were there any famous athletes from there? Have they, just things that I might find a way to relate to the audience, or honestly to even pander to them. Like, I'm the biggest Seahawks fan ever when I'm in Dallas, Washington, and then I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan when I'm in Arlington, and it's Go Chiefs when I'm in Kansas City.
So with the growth you've experienced, has there been a few pinch me moments along the way that kind of stick out to you?
Yeah, they really have. Being recognized as top 5 for any of the categories that a rodeo clown, entertainer, barrelman could get at PRCA banquet. Those have been some really cool moments. get into the PBR World Finals, very big moment for me. Probably the biggest pinch me moment that I can remember is the first time I got to go to Australia. They hired me, I think it was 2013, and I kind of didn't think it was real. Remember me telling you, 2010 is when I got, pretty serious about this and decided I wasn't going to have another job. So they hire me, and I'm like, yeah, it still seems a little shady. Am I really going over there? Is this really going to happen? And when I landed in Sydney and got through customs and I walked outside and I breathed the air for the first time, there's a big sign, "Welcome to Sydney, Australia." I literally just said, you know what? Like, I'm taking a mental picture of this. This was just a pretty cool moment for me.
That'd be pretty
That's
surreal.
awesome. Yeah.
That's a long flight, too. You had a long time to think about that.
I've done that 13 times. I've made that trip. And last, I think 3 or 4 times, I'm a Delta guy. So I saved enough miles and got enough status that I flew up in the cabin with the pod in the front. And now I'm spoiled. I don't know if I can ever go back. I mean, you sleep 8 hours. You know what's crazy? You get in that pod. I couldn't bring a bobby pin through security through TSA, but they give you a damn steak knife when you get up there.
Oh,
You cannot carry the knife through the airport, but hey, once you're on the plane, I'm
Yeah.
just going to hand it to you so it's easier.
These people up front are too wealthy to hurt anyone.
They're like, we're just going to
So-
lock you in your pod anyway, so safe.
I know. Yeah, it's true. You get a knife in first class, and I'm looking at this like, 22 of us, we could start a syndicate right now. Do whatever we want.
Oh,
Oh, man. Good thing TSA is not working. They can't hear this.
so you're giving us a little bit of history, and obviously you're creeping up on the 3-decade mark. So what's been the biggest change since you started to what you see from audiences and the rodeo and bull riding world now?
Oh, break that down. I mean, start with the audiences. They're just like you and I. Your attention span is just so lost compared to when I started. I mean, we're all that way. I'm the same way. I watch a television show, and like on Hulu, I don't pay to get the commercial free. Some of my apps I am, but like Hulu's not. So I'm watching this show on Hulu last night. That Chad Powers. I don't know if you see. It's really funny.
Yes.
I'm watching it, and I realize when it goes to commercials, I'm picking up my phone and I'm scrolling in the commercial break. Like I can't go without. I couldn't watch the commercial or just daydream or whatever. I had to get on my phone. I say that to make a correlation between all people's attention span and my job. It's so different than it used to be, because if you don't entertain someone or if you do something that's fairly predictable, they're going to quickly not want to hear from you anymore. And it's not a negative or they're not disliking you. It's just they're not going to crave what you have to say. So I have to work really hard to be original and crafty with what I say. I feel like I just try to stay loose and talk about what's happening in the moment as much as I possibly can. And Andy, you worked with me and you do the same thing. And I'm sure you would agree that kind of, to me, is the secret sauce right now, is to just being in the moment, having fun. Feel like everybody in the audience came to my house, to my kitchen, and we're just having a gathering, and I'm treating them like people and talking about whatever's happening in the moment.
No, I definitely think that's spot on. I mean, because there's so many ways that your attention can be darting left and right, whether it's a cell phone or, I mean, and you think about the technology that we have in rodeo. 20 years ago, a replay screen was a luxury.
Yeah.
And now, I mean, if you're having an event that doesn't have a replay screen, it's kind of like people are asking questions, as to why you don't, because everyone has a big screen TV in their house and it's digital. We don't have the old big analog boxes of yesterday. So you're exactly right. I mean, we have to work even harder to keep everybody engaged and tuned into what we're doing.
I think rodeo fans too, there's multiple types of rodeos and the rodeo fan that shows up there culturally just because of where it is and, what created the event and how it works. But some rodeos you go to and it's a very novelty thing. Like I do the PBR in Madison Square Garden. Everybody's there. They don't know if it's a bull riding or rodeo or a dog show, really. I mean, they
All the
just
same
came
to
to
them.
have fun and they love it. Half of them, and then you go some places where it's a very traditionalist crowd and they're more concerned with the times and the team roping than they are what the clown has to say. So I also try to build things around how I feel the crowd sees it. I try to tailor what I'm doing to the people that I'm actually working for.
Do you ever get to see demographics when you're going into those areas? I mean, I know probably not so much on the rodeo side, but just in general, is it like a research piece that you ever look for?
Yeah, I do that. I do that a lot. And a lot of times I think it's probably more like, I don't guess it's common knowledge is the right thing to say, but you kind of almost have a feel for what a city's like. I mean, like if you named a city, Las Vegas, I'm already, the first things that come to my mind are, what is the vibe in Las Vegas? Well, it's people that are trying to get away from their normal life. They're having fun. They're going to be more open-minded to just dance in public and scream and have a good time. And then if you said to me, Killdeer, North Dakota, I'm going to feel like, yeah, it's probably a bunch of hardworking people that aren't, they're sitting around their neighbors in the audience and maybe they're not going to get as wild and crazy. So I'll start, there with just my preconceived notion, but then I look up things about the city and, what sports teams have been there and what big moments have happened in town. And, you kind of get a vibe for the city. And you can go some places where, I don't know, people just on a good mood in some places. In other places, they're super happy, almost elated. Yeah.
Matt, tell the truth. You go to Walmart, Dollar General, and a 24-hour diner, and that tells you everything you need to know about the town.
You nailed it. Yes.
And sometimes the laundromat.
That's exactly right. Do what?
And sometimes the laundromat.
Yeah, and in the South, the Waffle House. Hey, laundromats are a real problem for me. I have to use them often, all summer, and nothing makes me. It's like everyone there's in a bad mood. Hey, when we were in Caldwell this year, did I tell you about the guy that wanted to fight me?
No, in the laundromat?
Yep, random guy. Like I went in there and I think I was putting my clothes into the dryer, and there's a guy in there. He's like my age, 40, whatever. And I'm walking out, and I clear my throat like like that. He's sitting. I mean, he was probably 25 feet away from me, totally across the room. And he repeats what I did back. He goes, and then he used some foul language. And like, I turned and I just looked like, it's real life, it's just me and him here. Did he just say, he just like mock me and cuss me? And I said, excuse me? He said, I hear you got to be all loud out there with your fancy truck, wanting everybody to see you. And I'm like, it's a dually truck. I need it to pull a trailer. I travel for a living. That's why I'm in a laundromat. Not everybody can have nice things, you piece of crap. And I'm like, whoa. Okay, I hope your day gets better, man. Like, what's this about what's about to happen here? And he goes, just shut up talking to me. And then walks past me, like 3 feet from me. And I'm like, behind my back thinking, I'm going to ball my fist up here. I don't know what's going on. Yeah. Laundromats bring out the worst in people. They're eating Tide Pods, I guess.
Matt, listen, and I'm not one to give advice, especially since we're almost the same age, but I just always pay extra for the wash and fold. Like, drop it off, be nice to the lady, let that will save you an altercation in the future. Like, just pick it up. It's already packaged and ready to go.
Hey, did you ever think for maybe 1 second I like altercations, Andy?
What else would he have to talk about at the rodeo? Come on now.
Oh.
Let's take a quick pause, and we'll be right back. Las Vegas becomes the center of the Western universe every December with the return of the Wrangler National Finals Rodeo. And, of course, Cowboy Christmas presented by Pro Fantasy Rodeo. It's the perfect way to spend your day with family and friends. There's endless shopping, entertainment on the Ariat Rodeo Live Stage, the Yeti Junior NFR, contestant autograph sessions, and all-day fun. There's so much and more in Las Vegas. Cowboy Christmas, presented by Pro Fantasy Rodeo. It's all here.
Well, you also have a brand new opportunity that we hope there are no altercations at. Mic drop with Matt Merritt. So that's going to be happening in Vegas. So tell us a little bit about your show.
Well, when you said it, I pumped my fist in the air because this is such a big, big thing for my career and for me. And hopefully it lasts a very long time. So Mic Drop with Matt Merritt is the new talk show that will be happening at the Las Vegas Convention Center all 10 days of the NFR from 11:30 a.m. till 12:30 p.m. Hobart Welders sponsor, Vitalix, a bunch of other sponsors. But Anthony Lucia had Live with Lucia forever. And then now that he has been chosen to work the National Finals Rodeo, he was unavailable. So Las Vegas Events needed someone, and they're giving me a shot. And I am I've always looked up to Flint Rasmussen when he had his show, and I've been a guest on Anthony's and hosted it for him. And I actually hosted a show once or 2 years in a row, I think, at the PBR final. So I've got a little history doing it, but it's just such an honor because, for me, I feel like I'm a rodeo clown, but it's like stand-up comedy. It's like, physical comedy. It's all these different things that I do in the arena. But I love to do things when I'm not wearing makeup too, and to show that there's a little bit of a different side to you and you can be a little more versatile. So for a personal thing, it's very, very proud that I have this opportunity. It's also super fun to get to meet the athletes and try to bring rodeo athletes' personalities out. I've got a lot of different games planned. I'm going to do a lot of games with them. And because it's the 40th anniversary of the National Finals Rodeo being in Las Vegas since 1985, I have also got a segment brought to you by Phillips Construction that is going to give me an opportunity to bring a legend up every day. I don't have my schedule here with me, but I've got people like Oat Berry, the world champion steer wrestler from 1985, and Rob Smets. I can go on and on. I think I'm going to be able to get J.B. Mooney on. I know he wasn't there in 1985, but I'd say he's a legend.
Absolutely.
Going to just mix it up, legends and then current stars, and then have a musical guest every day as well.
Is there anybody on that list that you're really, really excited about, or are you trying to keep some of your cards close to your vest?
I'm really excited about a lot of them. One that I'm really excited about that I don't know if I can articulate how good it's going to be, but Charlie West, Too Tall, him, the rodeo clown.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's been around for forever. Like the guy was there when Lane Frost rode Red Rock. He was the first guy to hug him. He was around. So what happened at the National Finals Rodeo is it moves from Oklahoma City to Las Vegas. And, this is a whole new thing. Rodeo promotions are really growing and the entertainment values are growing. Well, so they sort of just dump it in Cotton Rosser's lap to be like the guy that comes up with the openings. Well, he had a whole team of people, and Charlie was part of his team. And Cotton found him and brought him into the rodeo business. And they used Charlie for so many things. And they had these openings, like Cotton had this giant cowboy boot that you could ride a horse inside of, and a teepee and a spaceship, all these wild ideas. And Charlie, he has these stories about, because he's a little person, they send him in the boot with this horse to hold it. So he's in this, imagine a boot, right? I guess what would you call the top of the boot? What do you call that part that goes around your calf? I don't know what that's called. But there's a horse in it, and Charlie, and a rider, and the rider's on the horse, and he's hanging on. This horse is freaking out in this, containment. And then it lifts the horse above, and Charlie has to hide. And this whole wild story, he's got all this stuff, man. He was there in the barrel. He's been around for every national anthem. He's met Reba and all those people. Pretty cool stories.
That's awesome.
I can't wait for that one.
Yeah. I'll have a lot of celebrity, athletes as well. I'm trying to get Stetson right. I think I've got a shot of having him on. Bradley Miller's already told me he would come on. Get Derek Begay, just a lot of the guys that I'm friends with. I feel like for sure I can get them on. And, we're recording this. I don't know when you'll put it out, but it's early November. So I got a lot of bait in the water, a little chum out. I'm trying to make sure I don't want to guarantee that anyone will be there yet, but I've got a great guest list lining up. How about that?
But we can guarantee that you will be there on the stage from that 11:30 to 12:30, so they can go to the convention center and check you out.
That's right. And if it's just me for an hour, I don't know what we're going to do.
Now, wait a minute. I want to know a little bit more about these games. I know, because I know where your mind goes, and I know you're very creative with this kind of stuff. So I need a little teaser there.
All right, hang on. Let me go to my notes on my phone. I've got because it's called mic drop. So I'm going to do a mic drop thing where you finish the lyrics to a song. I saw a game. I was scrolling TikTok and I saw this one, but you basically have a microphone on the table and you start a song and then you stop it like musical chairs. And as soon as it stops, everyone's, all the guests there are diving for the mic and then they have to try to sing the next part. I'm going to play that one. I'm going to play a game called Put It in Reverse, where I can record you saying a phrase and then play it back. And so it comes out backwards.
Ooh.
And then you have to listen to it backwards and try to repeat it backwards. And then we play it forward again. I know that's very hard to explain, but I've got, because Hobart and Miller Welders is a part of the show, I'm going to play Pictionary, but you have to wear a welding helmet so you can't see what you're drawing.
That's good.
And then your partner's going to have to guess. Yeah. I got lots of different ideas and things that I want to do. I want to do a lot for the audience as well. I thought about playing a game with the live audience there at the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation stage, where it's going to be at Las Vegas Convention Center, and maybe giving a buckle or something to someone in the audience, but having a Tilden Hooper on stage or whatever, and he can't see who gets it. He's got his back turned or he's blindfolded. And then you play a hotter or colder game and make him walk around in the crowd trying to find the one person, and they can't make a face or, let on. I don't know. I want to involve the audience. I'm just dreaming as I go. As you know me, I'm kind of crazy. Dream up stuff, and if it doesn't work, I'll pretend it did.
I like that you have that creative side, though. It gives every fan that opportunity to experience something different each day they join us.
Well, I don't want to say that I'm on a crusade or whatever, but I do think that rodeo needs to be showing the athletes off a little bit more and letting people get to know them, because a lot of the guys, the more you're around, Orrin Larson's a great example. The more I'm around that guy, I laugh. He's so funny, and he's witty, but he's just a quiet person, and it takes you to be around him enough to understand him and get to know him a little bit. So I would like to sort of help unveil some of the personalities that we have in our sport. You got guys like Rocker that everybody knows his personality, and it's easy to figure him out. But some of the guys are a little more quiet, but so good to be around,
Absolutely. I would say that's like a Jess Pope for us. The first time he came out as a world champion, he was very dry and quiet, and then all of a sudden he would just hit you with one-liners. You're like, where did that come from, guy?
Yeah, there's a lot of guys like that, and I think the cowboy mentality that you probably need to have to do what a lot of these guys do, you would think it would stop them from being, comedic and fun and all that, but it's not the case. A lot of these guys are so fun-loving, and Will Loomis and Tyler Waggesback, guys like that, you get them together too, and they just picking on each other and fun. And so that's sort of my goal, is to get as many people as I can on the show, that we can share their personalities with everyone else and we can have fun doing it, and then honor sponsors and do giveaways and just make Vegas that much more enjoyable for everyone that makes the trip out. Vegas is crazy. You guys would understand, but you could fly to Las Vegas, stay 10 days, go to the NFR once. Let's say you could only get tickets on the first Wednesday, and you could go watch that Wednesday, but you could still go to all these watch parties and the talk shows and the shopping and all that, and still meet the athletes and get the full experience. So it's awesome to have an opportunity to help be a part of that.
Well, we're seeing more and more that even the visitors and guests, they kind of have to set up a schedule, because there is so much going on all over town that if you don't kind of plan everything out, you can just get frozen because it's sensory overload. So you kind of have to attack it with a plan. And that's part of why we wanted to talk about your show and where it's going to be and when it's going to be, so that people can experience it. And I'm really intrigued to see how this drawing with a welding helmet goes, because I actually am a terrible artist.
Yes.
But I did a social media competition with a few people the other day where I had to draw the state of Texas
Ooh.
and describe it as I'm drawing it. And surprisingly, of the 4 people or the 3 people that I went against, they liked mine as one of the best. And I just was like, that just shows me that if you have to add a welding helmet, it's going to be even more difficult.
That's terrifying.
Yeah, just trying to just do fun things like that and dream up good ideas. I would like to see how you drew Texas as you explained it. And
well, they say, and they say that, and it's a fatal flaw when drawing Texas, is everybody starts with the panhandle, which I did, but it's like a goofy panhandle. Like one side of it is longer than the other because the Dallas portion is higher than you think, and it's a lot more difficult than you think it is to just draw the state of Texas. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, made it a little squishy. We got San and Wakio here.
Yeah. And just in case you're wondering, El Paso and Houston are a long ways apart.
Yeah, I would say so.
You can spend a whole day driving that state.
Yes.
Still get nowhere.
Yeah, when you get on I-10 in Orange, Texas, and it says 880-something miles to El Paso, just know that you don't have to unbuckle your seatbelt for a long time.
Yeah, that's a long trip. I made a lot of them this year. I know that. It was like I had a 20-hour drive every single week.
All right, so before we wrap things up, I actually thought about asking this question to start, but I want to end with it. If you had to think of a song to describe your life, I want to know what is the Matt Merritt anthem?
Well, if I'm being honest, all right, I'm gonna get vulnerable here. There's a song that I listen to. I think it's my favorite song, and it just resonates to me. And I got to actually meet the guy that wrote it, and it's "Desolation Angels" by Reckless Kelly. I don't know if you know who they are.
Yep,
they're an awesome band. But I met Willie Braun. He wrote the song. I met him in Billings at the rodeo they were performing. And if you ever listen to the song, it talks about kind of like leaving your hometown. And then there's some really cool lines in there. Like, I've done a lot of growing up, but I never lost the child in me. And to me, like that, some of those lines, they just hit home with me because that's kind of what I want to be. I want to still have that inner child and bring fun to people and be the light of the room. And I pray for that. I pray for me to be a positive light and good things. And that song just resonates with me. So I don't know if you probably thought I was going to say something funny, but no, that's it. Desolation Angels by Reckless Kelly.
It doesn't have to be funny. That's good that you share the side of you that has a heart, right? I mean, you're a father of a couple of beautiful young ladies and a woman that keeps you in line. There's nothing wrong with being true to who you are.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, we can't wait to see what you have in store whenever you do your brand new show in Vegas. And give us the dates and times one more time, just so we make sure we don't miss it.
It starts on the first day of the National Finals Rodeo, which is going to be December the 4th. And then that'll be a Thursday, 11:30 a.m. The show will end at 12:30. So I think you probably want to try to be there a little early to get seats. I don't think there's a whole bunch of them. So it starts on December the 4th at 11:30, and it'll be every day until the National Finals Rodeo ends on December the 13th. And I'll be putting out on my social media, my Instagram's at Matt Merritt 8, and on my Facebook it's Matt Merritt Pro Rodeo Clown and Barrelman. But I'll be putting out my guest list as we move forward, and I'm sure the folks at Las Vegas events are going to help us as well. As we get a little bit closer, we'll let you know who's going to be there when, so maybe you can decide which day you'd like to be there the most.
Matt, thank you so much for your time, buddy. You're a class act, and we look forward to seeing you out in Sin City.
Yeah, it's a real honor, man. Thanks for having me on. You guys both have a great day, and if you see people, be nice to them.
Want to experience more of the NFR? Then visit nfrexperience.com, and we invite you to subscribe to NFR Extra on Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and wherever you're listening right now. If you like what you've heard on NFR Extra, we would love it if you gave us a 5-star rating and tell your friends how to subscribe.